Clothing is a popular item on many holiday shopping lists, but some fashion companies want shoppers to buy fewer clothes in order to cut pollution. The average person buys 60% more clothing today than they did 18 years ago. Researchers estimate the fashion industry will use 25% of the world's carbon budget by 2050. That's estimated amount of carbon dioxide emissions that the planet can have without the worst effects of climate change. Elaine Quijano of our streaming network CBSN is inside an Eileen Fisher store where they're doing something about that. Elaine, good morning.
Good morning to you. You know, it's easy to get caught up in the holiday shopping season, but statistics show that holding on to clothing an average of 9 months longer can actually reduce the carbon footprint by 20 to 30%. And that is something that designer Elaine Fisher thinks about a lot.
We keep everything, and now we're making like amazing pieces of art out of scraps.
At a tiny factory in Irvington, New York,
They're deconstructed.
Elaine Fisher's small but mighty team of socially conscious employees are trying to make a dent in fashion's carbon footprint.
We get between 4,000 and 6,000 pieces a week.
4,000 and 6,000 pieces a week.
The Renew program buys back worn Elaine Fisher pieces and sorts them to determine if they can be resold, resewn,
This was a hole.
Yeah.
They made it part of the design.
or remade.
This is made from about 20 old sweaters.
We see it as an important long-term investment for us. It's a bit hard to rationalize that cost. We do it because we think it's the right thing to do, and because we believe there's going to be no business done on a dead planet. So we better do the best we can.
Fashion accounts for nearly 10% of greenhouse gas emissions, and 85% of unwanted clothing ends up in landfills like this one, piling up to more than 12 million tons annually.
When you think about the magnitude, does it ever seem overwhelming for you?
Yes. Oh, it's daunting. It's, yeah, some days I try not to get depressed. Some days I say, oh my God, it feels like we're moving deck chairs on the Titanic. Just like, oh, how many more years do we have? 12 before catastrophe strikes us. We're only a drop in the bucket, and we're trying to role model for other companies.
Other companies have tapped into the sustainable market too, like Patagonia, whose Worn Wear program encourages customers to patch up old clothing rather than buy new. Even IKEA is testing a program to buy back their old furniture. And H&M offers a recycling program where customers get 15% off when they bring in used items. But sustainability expert Maxine Bidat says coupons just encourage more consumption, and only about 1 out of every 1,000 pieces sold is ever recycled.
The last figures that have come in are showing that there are 150 billion new pieces of clothing that are made every single year. If you look even at the global population, that's a disposable wardrobe for every man, woman, and child on the planet every single year. I tend to favor natural material over synthetics. You can see things are pulling.
She says consumers need to be more conscious shoppers.
You don't have to be wealthy to make these sustainable choices.
Exactly. You can learn a lot from the clothes just from looking at the tag and looking at the inside of the garment. And I think that's the takeaway. It's not about, you know, getting a PhD in sustainability. It's about finding the clothes that we really love and only using our hard-earned money to purchase things that we're really going to want to wear in the future.
And Elaine Fisher's Renew program has sold nearly $3 million worth of garments that would have otherwise ended up in landfills. And finding ways to reuse versus throwing away unwanted clothing can actually save taxpayer dollars. In New York City alone, it costs $85 million each year to collect and dispose of unwanted clothing. John?
Elaine Quijano, good for the planet, good for the budget. Thank you.